Have you ever been injured while out riding or almost died?
Oh, yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a lot of times when you're getting chased and you know, you're not always getting chased by the cops. You know, you're getting chased by other neighborhoods, you're getting chased by heroes, you're getting chased by people that just, I guess, were just pissed off that they saw you riding. You know, getting chased by a cop was very routine in those days. So, you know, you're scaling fences and walls and sometimes, you know, I mean, I didn't know this, but like you're jumping off like, you know, these tremendous heights. And I didn't really catch it till I was a lot older that, you know, I needed a chiropractor, you know. One time on the 217, I didn't have a token or my bus pass or something like that, and there was a lot of us, and we were on Wilshire and Fairfax, so I decided to get on top of the 217 bus, you know. So I'm scaling the top of the 217 bus, and I'm kind of reaching over to like pull myself up, and there's a fan on that side of the bus that I guess I forgot was there, and I just remember going, and I'm like, whoa, and these two fingers right here, you can still see that injury. And oh man, I was like, oh shit. So I get on the bus, I'm like telling the bus driver, like, I gotta go to the hospital, like, and he's like, go back there. And you know, someone like wrapped up my, like they took off their shirt, wrapped it up, and all the like 30 riders go to Kaiser on Sunset to watch WISK get, you know, mended up.
Have you ever had a gun pulled out on you while out riding?
Oh yeah.
Can you tell us about that first time, about that experience?
I mean, it was just routine.
Do you talk yourself out of it? Do you run away?
You know, I used to have a trick back in those days where I'd carry a joint behind my ear, you know, and anytime someone ran up to me, like people were like, you know, whether they were Crips, Bloods, you know, they were from neighborhoods, whatever, and they'd like rush you, you know, like I remember this one time that Sir and I we got off in the Pueblos in South Central, and we didn't know it was the fucking Pueblos. We don't know all Bloods and shit, you know. And we get off the bus and we're like, okay, we're gonna go riding, and all these big ass Bloods come up to us and they're like, hey Blood, you know, what you guys doing here? And I just pull out my joint. I'd be like, man, we're just looking for a light. And they're like, yeah, come over here. You know, and then they'd be like, you know, we get all lifted and stuff, and they'd be like, what are you doing out here? You're not supposed to be here. And I'm like, oh, we're writing graffiti. They're like, oh, you want to write graffiti? Like, yeah, come on. Like, show us your can. Like, give us your can. Like, you know, we want to write graffiti too. And it was just like that everywhere, you know. It always seemed like neighborhoods befriended us, and the locals befriended us, and you know, we'd be, you know, maybe at the bus stop in the Panic Zone by General Hospital, and this guy would be like, hey, you want to smoke a joint? Like, yeah, smoke a joint. I didn't know it was angel dust, you know. Like, I'm on the bus with fucking Sir. I'm like, man, that joint like hit me different. Like, yeah, man. It's just the norm, man. You know, a kid growing up, an all-city kid growing up in LA, you just see a bunch of shit.
As you mentioned before, at some point, instead of writing WISK, you paint a W throw up near Wilshire and Santa Monica.
Yep. And
number it with the number 1.
That's right.
What year was this, and why do you begin to number them?
You know, I don't know what came over me. I just, like I said before, I wrote number 1 there. I wrote number 2 on the bus shelter, and then I just told Sir, let's just start numbering our throw-ups, and we just went all night numbering our throw-ups, and that became a thing. And we told Chase about it, we told Skept about it, and you know, our crew BKA, if you were in BK, which is only 4 of us, you were numbering your throw-ups.
Can you name the other writers in BKA?
Yeah, Chase and Skept. Chase, UCA, and Skept, K2S.
When you start writing the W, was there ever some concern other writers wouldn't recognize you were both WISK and the W?
No.
The highest number throw up we've seen is 3,812. What number did you finally reach?
I'm in. You saw 3,812?
Yes.
Yeah, I must have. I've cheated myself out of hundreds of numbers. I mean, because we were very conscious of not cheat on the numbers. That if I forgot, I mean, I'm a stoner, right? So I'm like forgetting numbers. I'm like, sir, what number am I on? He's like, I don't know. You know, so we'd have to go back to the last known throw up of, you know, where we went. And sometimes that would take us the whole day to get to that last spot and go, oh, it's this number. Okay, cool. And then we start over, like, you know, based on that number. But I'm sure I cheated myself out of a gang of numbers.